This episode is brought to you by Draggin Bags. If you want to become a better thrower, just follow our routine and head over to Draggin Bags and pick your set up today. It's just going to make you better because it's an awesome bag. We love their sweet designs. A great bag for all types of throwers. But I can't say more. Just go over to dragonbags.com and pick yourself up a set today.
Sean and Dane from Cleveland town. Cornhole kings, they wear the crown. Weekly talks and funny bits. Pour some beers and have some hits. Pumping laughs and a random chat. Cornhole royalties where it's at. Hear the stories from the top while the bottles go pop, pop, pop. Big Asp podcast on the go. Sean and Dane, they steal the show. Interviews and laughter shared. With Cornhole games, they're well prepared.
All right, welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Big Asp Cornhole podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
Not too much. Just, a little giddy. It's like
It's
kid
been
on
a nice
Christmas
night,
morning.
man. Dude,
Like,
yeah.
we're excited. Episode before Spencer's, so dude, we're finally popping our cherry.
Finally popping our cherry.
I'm
and
excited.
We're doing this backwards. We're recording the beginning of the episode after our interviews.
Yes.
And I'm all fired up and stuff.
I know,
Like the
just
interviews are so
ready
good.
to rip.
So, all right, before we get into anything else, we'll explain what's going on in this episode. Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking.
What you drinking?
Should have been what aren't we drinking? I'm just kidding. I started off with some Southern Tier 2X Haze, switched it over to some Miller Lite now because, we've been on the mics for a minute. So,
Go all killer lives.
yeah, got to work tomorrow, so I had to switch to the light.
Just
beer.
preparing for this weekend.
Exactly.
All right. So, folks, we have more audio gold planned for you all today. Today's going to be kind of a weird episode. There's not a whole lot of content going on in the cornhole world as we gear up for Spencer's. So, we're preparing for Spencer's best way we know we do. So, we're sitting down with Mark Richards, ACL Pro. And if you're looking for bonus content, if you go to patreon.com/bigaspcornhole, we also sat down with ACL Pro, current world champion of the women's singles division, DLE, and owner of Sub-Zero Bag Company, Eddie Schmidt. So if you're looking for just bonus content, check out Patreon. The interview with those two is awesome.
It is.
You're going to hear the interview with Mark coming up after this. We go through everything. We go through his season, what's new with his life, what changes we think they're going to go. There's plenty of fun, random shit. So it's just a ball. But
Yeah.
before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
And this is brought to you by Black Sheep Baggers. If you're in the market for a new set of bags, you got to check out Black Sheep Baggers. If you've ever felt the outsider in your life, right? You felt like the black sheep. Well, we have a whole community of throwers at Black Sheep. They'll support you. So go to blacksheepbaggers.com. They have a different type of bag for every type of thrower. Pro level quality, Costello X, Sentenced. They're all great bags. Go to blacksheepbaggers.com. Use code Big Asp, and you're going to save yourself some money.
Sweet.
All right, so if you're listening to this first thing, it's Wednesday.
That
That means that we're 24 hours away from being on a plane heading out to California, where we're going to our first ever Throwdown in Ventura Beach, right?
Yeah.
Right? So we're meeting up with our buddy.
I think it's just Ventura. But
Ventura, whatever. Fuck it. It's California. It's far away from here. So at least I got it started with a V, and I somewhat pronounced it right. Meeting our boy Brandon Thompson in LAX, and we're gallivanting, and we're staying in a house with. It's going to be me, Dane, Brandon's two sons, and then good old Daniel Lambert
Boys Weekend
of Draggin Bags. So it's going to be an epic weekend. I have zero expectations going into this weekend. My goal
Sean,
is
my
to
expectation
take
is to
in as
have
much
fun.
As, oh yeah, dude. Well,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
have
do
fun.
that. We're gonna get a bunch of content, which I'm excited
100%.
for. It's just rarely do you go to an event outside of like a national or worlds where you're getting like the best players, but then you're also getting like this party atmosphere. So you're basically combining the two things that we love more than anything.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you're a fan of the show, you're looking for just content galore. When we get back from Spencer's, I mean, we are going to have a backlog of interviews, hopefully, and we're going to be just rolling stuff out, which is an excellent opportunity for you to guys go check out patreon.com. If you're looking to support the show, you like what we do, go to patreon.com/bigaspcornhole for the price of a beer a month. All right. For the price of a beer a month. You can help support us, and you get bonus content. We do bag giveaways. You might be eligible to join a fun fantasy football league, like I just spun the wheel today. All right, so a whole bunch of good stuff. But yeah, I mean, really, this episode is just us gearing up for Worlds. The interview with Mark Richards is as good as advertised.
Yeah.
He's a pro's pro. The dude is just awesome. Like,
Sean, we got to throw though.
we did. Oh yeah, shit, we did get to throw.
We threw,
did
man.
Yeah, we did.
We did through.
We did through. We threw.
We done did through, man.
We done did through.
Yeah, you had your son's 4th birthday.
Yes.
So you had to go reserve the pavilion because there's no way to sign up for this thing apparently.
At 8 a.m.
At 8 a.m.
Party started at 2.
Yeah, so you were there for a minute. I was nice enough to come out after the farmer's market and bring my boards and set them up. We got some content real quick. You might see a video of
Doing at the Ruckapuck Cornhole.
with the splash pad in the background. Horde.
It is hard. It's pretty hard. Standard game for us though.
It was, yeah. Dude,
One of
we
us
have
jumps
this
out
weird,
to
yeah.
Whoever's winning in the beginning is inevitably gonna like fall apart a little bit, or the other person's gonna get hot.
Yeah.
And then it's always comes down to the end. And that's I was getting blown out. Like I couldn't. I was just really off. Could not hit a shot, and then all of a sudden I found it.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like we always have the same game.
Yeah.
It blows me away. But
Pretty much. I'm not going to Spencer's to throw. Like
no,
I'm going there to get content.
We're not
have
setting
fun.
the world on fire right now with their cornhole play, but
I'm gonna throw some like in a blind draw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna some stuff cash games. Yes, like we're good with that. But so, I mean, I'm not gonna win, but we'll
Cash
play
games, I'm like, no.
entertainment.
How about just that's beer money? I don't want to waste that.
I feel like cash games now where it's just like, well, as long as I record it, it's like I'm just paying them for content. That's all it is.
Except it might only be 2 minutes of content.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot. There's really no updates. I did get, if you saw the reel that I posted on social media across Facebook, Instagram, with TikTok, basically calling out the ACL, asking for answers after they kind of dropped this bomb about the changes that are upcoming. We have gotten word that September 2nd is going to be apparently the day that a lot of this information is going to be coming out. So if we all just kind of sit tight, just enjoy your life right now. And the September 2nd, I guess all the new information is going to come out. We'll have more to talk about.
I'm not a patient man, Sean.
No.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's not wait anymore. The interview is good enough. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you're looking for more, you're just dying. You're like, wow, this episode's like an hour long. Like I'm used to more. Go check out Patreon. Especially if you're already on there, the interview with Eddie and Dia is worth the price of admission. It's really well done. And I do want to publicly apologize. Last week I misspoke. All right. This is how the whole interview with Dia came up. Dia Lee was the world champion in singles for the women's division. Cheyenne Bubenheim won the tournament of champions.
Yes.
So I misspoke. The Hmong community came out hard last week. I thought it was funny as hell. I respect it that they have Dia's back. So we have her on and they get to listen to it if they join Patreon.
I mean, they might roll the deepest for any cornhole community out there
Dude,
right now.
it's fun, man. I love
impressive.
that. And I appreciate that because it's something like I'm jealous of. Like I wish we kind of had like that.
We
local
used to
support.
We used to feel like big dogs with Cleveland cornhole. Like
You gotta join. We just gotta get back
huge.
into a league.
Yeah,
We gotta get back into a league.
gotta get
bad.
back into it, man.
We do. All right, folks. Well, hope you guys enjoy the interview. Head over to Patreon, check it all out. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. We're on there. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back from Spencer's. And as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4-baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
And this interview is brought to you by Big D Bags. We love to grab our girth.
We do.
So we find it over at Big D Bags.
Yep.
So if you need some nice big old floppy D's in your hand, head over to Big D Bags. Because remember, don't be a big D bag, throw them.
All right, welcome back to the Big Asp Cornhole Podcast, where we are now joined by Mr. ACL Pro, Mark Richards. What's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, always a pleasure being on here. Thank you again for having me.
Of course, man. You're like you're an easy interview for us. So like it won't be the last time you're on. So you know what I mean? you're well spoken. You answer the question. So I love it. So first things first. What's how you been, man?
I've been good. Obviously, we got the ending of the 2024 season coming up with Spencer McKenzie's.
Yeah.
Heard you guys are going to that.
Yes, sir.
There we are.
For the first time, man.
Oh boy. I mean, it's just there's no better way to end the 24 season than going out to Spencer McKenzie's. I'm super excited for that. But other than that, getting excited and ready for that. Been golfing a little bit with my dad. I'm a married man now.
Dude, I was going to say, we have a lot to get to.
Congratulations.
So let's break this down one at a time here. So the golf game. Let's go important stuff first. Golf game.
Yeah.
How's your golf game shaping up? Like, how are you shooting?
It's getting a lot better. This summer is the most I've ever golfed.
Sweet.
I probably went double digits now, which is really good for me.
God, yeah, that's awesome.
I just did my personal best today. I shot a 95.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So,
Nice.
other golfers, Tony, Ethan Walker, listening, please do not flame me.
Dude,
You know, I'm getting better as the day goes on.
they will agree that once you break 90, then it's just like, then it becomes like, I don't know. It seems like once you break 90, then you're going to be stuck in this range from between 80 and 90 forever. And that's where I've been in that void for
Yeah,
10 years.
I'm
I
trying to
swear.
break through hard.
Yeah,
like I'm
now,
knocking
don't
on
get me
the
wrong.
door.
I have had rounds below 80
Yeah.
before, but it's not a consistent thing at all. You know what I mean? Like, so it just keep grinding. And honestly, I'm sure you, from the day one to today, you've seen like a drastic difference, right?
Huge difference. I think a lot of times it's like my short game sucks, but everything else is
Dude.
good to go.
Yeah.
Like that's me. The guy I'm golfing with tomorrow morning, his short game is probably the best I've ever seen,
Sweet.
but his long game is just average.
But
So
get
I
tips,
think
like
my
get
short
tips
game-
and tricks. You know what I mean? Watch what he does and ask what he does. And when you're chipping, I'm always interested to hear like newer players. When you're chipping, what are you typically using? What club are you using to chip?
Oh my gosh! So my favorite club in my bag is my 60.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what it is about it. Like if I'm 70 to 100 yards out, I love because I'm not going to use the probably exact terminology, but
Yeah.
like I hit it a lot higher than any other shot.
Yes. Correct.
And that's like my favorite shot to hit because I normally hit it pretty good.
I figured you had a good short game only because you kind of have good touch. Like you're a
Yeah,
natural
you're
athlete. Because
fluidity.
those inside 100 shots, like if you're not playing a lot, like those are the ones that to me always get me. I can go out and swing a club full, get up and rip the ball 200 yards. But if you leave me 30, 40 yards out and you got that little half swing with a 60, that's what like I know if I'm playing well, if those shots are going well. But I figured that would kind of be in your wheelhouse. So
Yeah. It's probably the putts. And then obviously, what everybody struggles with is the slice.
yeah. Now you're a lefty golfer as well.
Correct.
Okay, so do you find it hard learning being a lefty golfer? Because 90% of the golfers in the world are right-handed. Like, do you find can you watch a righty and then apply it left-handed? Does that make sense?
I do more in just like the prep before the shot.
Okay.
I've actually been watching a lot of, I don't know if you guys have seen it, the Bryson DeChambeau stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
oh
dude.
yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
pretty much
I
all I
love
do is watch cornhole and golf. Like that's all I do. So like every golf
Yeah.
like major dude, I've watched like every video. Yes, I'm a loser.
So Tony put me on that about a month ago. He was over at my house and we watched the Bryson and Phil
Yes,
one. Oh,
that's great.
that's ever since
Yes.
I've been just watching the heck out of those.
Did you watch the one with? Did you watch the one with Trump?
I did.
Dude, how
Yep.
well? Listen, say what you want, politics aside. The old man can swing a golf club, and he knows where it's going. It's no bullshit. Like he is a scratch golfer. For
I
sure.
mean, he's been golfing for that long and
Hell
just
yeah.
perfected it.
But I mean, we're
that's-
talking 230 down the middle. You know, plays a little baby fade. You know, and it just knows wherever everything's going. It's great.
Yeah, I mean,
He really does have some skill.
John
it
Daly.
surprised me to be honest with you, but
Okay, so you watched the most recent one, the John Daly one.
I've watched it twice so far.
Okay, so you liked it then.
Oh, I loved it.
So I loved it. The first time I watched it, there were moments where I found myself like almost getting a little embarrassed for Daly, just like a little cringy, just because I felt like he was
Really?
trying to. Only because I felt like he was trying too hard in front of the cameras. There were a few moments though where he was completely authentic, where I'm like, dude, that's all you need to do. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to like. Now he did admit that he was like 30 beers deep at that time, so like he was feeling it, but he can still hit the ball, man. It was a fun episode to watch for sure.
That was the definition of keeping it loose.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. I love one of my favorite Bryson DeChambeau is the most recent one where he did with Grant Horvath. I think he's got he's got the best swing in golf, like just the smoothest swing. It also helps that he's like 6'6" and he's just like tall and lanky, and I mean, like the tall lanky kids always do well.
they do.
Correct.
Like,
Very
does not
annoying.
shock me that Tony Smith is good at golf. Ethan Walker's good at golf. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
short, stout dudes are not built for golf, and like that's where I've been fighting an uphill battle to try to hit a long ball for a long time, and I've just kind of given up on it. Just accept it what it is.
Yep.
So, what are you playing? 18 typically when you go out? You playing full rounds?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, always 18.
Okay.
Always 18. I love.
Do you
that.
have like a home course right now, or have you enjoyed like trying a little bit of everything around your area?
I do have like a home course. It's called Hamlet.
Okay.
There's like a little bit of water on 3, but other than that, it's pretty wide open. It's the perfect course for me.
Hell yeah. No, I do. I hear it. Like just hit and spray, you know what I mean? Then just
Spray and pray, and then
correct.
Get yourself close
And I
enough.
relate-
Wedge in.
Like surprise, I relate like the golf game a lot to cornhole. Like the biggest thing I do, especially like after I hit a bad shot, is like after I breathe in, when I breathe out, like I'm letting out every single thing that I just did wrong, and my next shot's going to be 100% positive. Like it's fitting really well with my cornhole game too.
I needed to get better at that because I was fiery young man, right?
Yeah.
Real hothead. But then since I've gotten older and I don't get an opportunity to golf very much, I just try to enjoy when I'm going out there. So if I hit a bad shot, I'll let it linger for like 10, 15 seconds. And then I remember like, dude, you've golfed like 4 times this year. Like you're not going pro. You're here to have a good time. Just enjoy yourself. But cornhole is the complete opposite. I tend to let bad rounds linger a little bit too much. And then before I know it, I'm down 12 more points. You know what I mean? Like, not good.
But to that point, I also realized why cornhole players tinker so much. Because I had like some putting woes early on. And I was like, all right, maybe I just need to switch something up. So just change my stance up a little bit. And all of a sudden, like, it's like I'm putting everything perfect now. I'm like, all right, so I understand when it comes to cornhole.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. The similarities, man, let me tell you.
No, it is. Except the mental side, 100%. And then even like it's you're not playing against an opponent, but like you just have to look at like each hole as like your opponent. You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to conquer that and in theory, golf should be such an easy game, just like cornhole. But like it's way harder when you're trying to get really good at it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anyone can be like go out there and be average. Like if you keep playing, you're gonna be a bogey golfer. You know what I mean? You're gonna break 90, you're gonna be a bogey golfer. Just like when I go out, like I go out 3 times a year to tournaments. Mm-hmm. I can be above average, but I'm not gonna really compete with the highest high. But that's not my goal. Like
You'll win a couple matches, but consume the most beers.
Yeah, I'll upset a few guys that care way too much about it. You know what I mean? Have fun, and then I'm good. That's what I'm doing. So okay, so wedding. How'd the wedding go?
So half the first part's over. The second part's close to happening. The first part was just courthouse. We got it done just for some personal reasons.
I got you.
Nothing crazy. Just not teaching anymore. So what comes with that.
Yeah, for sure.
And having all the benefits and stuff. But
absolutely.
We had the courthouse wedding, and then we went back to my my mother and father-in-law's place, and we had our favorite Mexican spot. They catered it there, and we had a really small dance floor. But the best part about it was just having everybody there that we care about the most. Like it's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about the second part in a second, but like my favorite part of the whole day was when we were sitting at the end of the table and just looking down the line at our 40, 50 people who were there and just thinking to myself, like, people that really, really care about us. Yeah. I wouldn't want it any different than it is right now.
Yeah.
So that was the first part. Second part is in October. We're going to Mexico to actually do like the ceremony and all that jazz.
Hell yeah,
But
nice.
you guys know that part. So I don't know how much cornhole we're going to get in there, but we've got myself, Nico,
nice,
Ryan Windsor, Tony Smith, Adam Hisner, Trey Birchfield, Stephen Bernasette. I mean, we've got a crew.
You have the who's who, so you guys can't be going down there getting in too much trouble. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Mark's going to be the only one that comes back.
Out of that group, it wouldn't surprise me. Where's Windsor? He's like stuck at a poker table. There's a couple guys.
He's
like
on a heater. He's been on a heater for 5 days.
Exactly.
Adam sitting naked in a hot tub somewhere. You know what I mean? Just taking vitamin juice and all that stuff. I love what you said about the first part of your wedding, right? And your favorite part, right? You sat down, you looked down, you were appreciating it. The biggest piece of advice I've ever given, if I'm ever like a groomsman in a wedding, is I always go to whoever's getting married that day, and I'm like, if I have any advice for you, is take 5 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever amount of time you have, and just stand back and just truly appreciate it, because the night goes by so fast and it's gone. And like, you just want a snapshot. So like every once in a while, just stop and appreciate what you're seeing and what you're doing. And like that way, like the memories mean a little bit more. Because like I remember the night I did not stop and do that until my wife and I were standing at the windows towards the very end of the night looking at fireworks. And I like turned around, I'm like, oh shit, like this is about to be over. I'm like, that was epic. But like I wish I would have like taking the time
by
to like
so
appreciate it a
fast.
little bit more. So I think that's what I told you before you got married. I'm like, just stop a few times during the night and just appreciate like how much fun people are having, how many people are here supporting you that, you know, that like love and care about you. Like it's good stuff, man. I love that.
It's funny you said that because I think my father-in-law said the same thing to me and Shelby right before it happened. So
Yeah.
it's funny you say that.
It's great advice, man. Like, especially just when you've already gone through it. You know what I mean? Like you were like, damn, I wish I could have had somebody that tell me that. So
Sure.
for sure.
I like that.
So Spencer McKenzie's, right? It's coming up. When are you heading down?
We are leaving on Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Are you golfing at all when you're down there?
I thought about it for a second today, but I don't see enough time there.
I
Like,
know, yeah.
Thursday we're at Shamar's,
Yep.
and then Friday is like a little bit of, celebrity event, nothing crazy. That would probably be the day, but obviously Saturday and Sunday are the big days.
Yeah.
So I don't really see a day where we could do it, but I would have liked to.
Us too. Yeah. Have you gone like on an out of town like golf trip yet?
Yeah, so I did it one. Well, I've done it twice now, technically.
Okay.
The one to Rock Hill, but I don't really count that because we drove.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I did do it once where like I physically like bought a bag to go on the plane with the clubs.
Yeah.
And I forget where me and Tony did it at, but I have done that once so far.
Okay. So you and Tony have gotten pretty tight then over this past year?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. We don't like talk like every single day.
Yeah.
But like when we do talk, it's like, 30 minutes, hour and a half long conversation. Like, yeah, I consider us really good friends.
Okay. Now, it's still Spencer's. Is it as good as everyone advertises it to be? Like, is it like worth it? Like, it's been probably 4 or 5 years. We've been
Yeah.
asking everybody, what's the one tournament we need to go to? And I would say probably 90% of the answers have always been, you got to go to Throwdown. Like, it's epic.
Correct. Yes. Anything that you guys are about to ask me, I want to try to tell it in a way that you don't normally hear. Like you always hear about the wind and it's party atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like the thing I'm about to tell you, I want to tell you guys like new stuff.
Mhm.
What I will tell you is I told my parents like a month or two ago, I said, next year, don't even worry about the world championships. Go to Spencer's.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard it's not just Cornhole. It's like an event. You know what I mean? Like it is truly a festival atmosphere, which is what I'm looking forward to.
It is. Like the live music is a great additive. The food is solid. I don't know. It's just a really, really good time. Like you want to win. There's a ton of money on the line, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think every pro would agree that like you're there to win, but you're also there to just like, it's almost like a, okay, we got through the year. This is just a fun one to do. And that's my favorite part about it.
And you're partnering up with Baby Goat again? Is that right?
Yeah. We got third, we got second. I feel like it's only right that we do it again and try to get first.
I mean, law of
Yeah,
averages,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you guys keep working your way up.
Gotta break through it.
So, okay, so let's talk about Alex just for a second because we all know how immensely talented this young dude is, and we've seen it. But then when he goes on a broadcast, like he tends to get nervous. Is that something like you think you would be able to help him with? Because I mean, obviously, like you've been on broadcast plenty of times now, and you seem to handle yourself pretty well. Like, what kind of advice can you tell Alex, or like any new pro that's coming in that might be playing on a broadcast for the first time, or maybe he has like a little bit of the broadcast yips?
Yeah. Obviously I can't relate to him as far as like an age thing because I started when I was, I don't know, 21, 22. So I can't really I couldn't tell him too much about that part, but I don't know. Like obviously like, people who are over 21, when you get a little alcohol in you, that definitely helps. But as far as that goes, I mean, I know that kid prepares really, really well.
Yeah.
I know he's got a great head on his shoulders. I know he's got a phenomenal family and a great group of people around him. No matter who you talk to in the league, I mean, you can't say one thing bad about the kid. I really don't know. I think it's just going to take some time. I think he might be going through a growth spurt right now. Yeah. I'm excited to see, when I'm partnering with him this coming weekend. Last year it was like I'm looking, still pretty down on him.
Correct.
We might be pretty eye level this year. So I don't know. But to answer your question to anybody who's on the broadcast, I mean, taking it one bag at a time, just like the stereotypical stuff. I mean, I always have been somebody who doesn't like to look around at like everybody in there. I like to just focus on like the bag of my hand and the hole down the line from me. But I mean, maybe it is a good thing to, kind of like you were saying with the whole wedding thing, like taking like 5 to 10 seconds and really like understanding, okay, I'm here for a reason. Like, there's no reason for me to feel any kind of nerves or anything right now. But I also do think being nervous isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, that means you care about the game. And I don't know if he or anybody else has ever thought that way, but maybe if you do think that way, maybe that can help him or anybody else.
So you're like,
for sure. I think honestly, like, I think just feeling like it's natural to be nervous sometimes can mean the difference to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if
I mean,
like,
Scheffler says that before every shot, right? He gets nervous before every shot, and that's just because the guy cares.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think it's accepting that being nervous is okay.
it is.
You know, you don't have to look at it as a flaw necessarily. You know what I mean? And that can go for being on ESPN broadcast to being on like a live stream.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like you see it all the time in these intermediate players at a regional. They get on the live stream court for the first time, and you just watch them throw like nines, right? Like playing like good game, and then all of a sudden they all get on the live stream court and they're averaging like fours. You're like, what the hell just happened? You realize like, oh, like they're trying too hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're getting mad at themselves because they're
Playing
getting
hero
nervous.
ball. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
to.
yeah. So I've always thought of you as kind of like an insightful guy, like a guy that like does his homework and like to try to not just improve the physical side, but also like the mental side. Is there any like go-to sources that you have or people that you really like listening to get like advice or to improve like the mental side of the game?
I mean, I think my dad has always done a pretty good job of that. Like, he's always been a very positive guy. Always been very humble. Like, being positive and humble is like two very important parts of my game. Okay. And I mean, I read like the two books that I read to the kids when I was teaching were one called like Make Your Bed. Like every morning you wake up, you make your bed. It like just helps out with your entire day. But the other book that I actually like, I bring on flights with me, I take notes on, is a book called Think Like a Warrior. And there's like 5 points to the book that are very, very important to my game and just in a way of life. It's, you know, controlling what you can control, ignoring the naysayers, reminding yourself, I love what I do each day. Like those are the three main aspects of those 5 points. And I tell myself that all the time when I'm playing.
Okay. I like that. So you kind of like glossed over it early on that you're doing this full time now. Like you're not teaching anymore. So like what all went into that decision? That had to be a big choice.
It sure was. Obviously, like just the behind the scenes stuff, insurance benefits, all that jazz. Like, you know, I've got a house now with my wife. I've got bills to pay for. Like, I had to make sure that was squared away, of course.
Yeah.
But it really came down to this last year teaching. It didn't go that great for me. I was 100% giving my absolute best effort each day in the classroom and then in the gym, but I wasn't getting that back from everybody at the school.
Okay.
There were people in the school, could have been kids, could have been teachers, could have been both, that did not support me 100% in what I was doing. They might have made fun of me. They might have made fun of me to my face in a, you know, jokingly way or behind my back. But at the end of the day, it did not sit well with me because it is something that I give 110% effort to. And if you are not going to support me, then I cannot give my 100% effort each day.
Do you mean like they were giving you a hard time or like, you know, in quotes, making fun of you, like about playing professional cornhole? Is that like the aspect of it?
Yeah, there was kids who would bring up, you know, past events that have happened, like at the World Championships with the bags a while ago. Like, why in the world, when you see your teacher doing good things outside of this, that you can and say, hey, wow, my teacher's actually doing this. I want to like do something good in the world. Yeah. Instead of saying that and thinking like that, you know, they're trying to bring me down in what I'm doing.
What age group did you teach?
So I taught anywhere from kindergarten to freshman.
That's wild. Was it a private school?
No, public, super small.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, okay. Wow. That's a very large. Yeah, man. Like my kids are still young enough now that I can just ignore them, like anything they say. But like I can already see with my daughter who's 7 and she's going into first grade, just like the whole attitude change and everything like that. So we've had to have a few chats recently where I sit her down and be like, listen, I know you think you're hot shit right now, but like I'm way cooler than you. and I will literally
You
embarrass
keep
you.
telling her that.
Yeah, listen. Every day I drop her off at daycare, she looks at me and she tries to give me a hug in the hall because she doesn't want me to go to the classroom. Our rule is if you don't let me go in the classroom and walk you in, I'm going to embarrass you. But every day she tries it, and every day she walks off, and I open the door and I call her a nickname, and she gets all mad and stomps off. So like I live for that shit, man. It's great. So you make the decision. You're cornhole professional. Obviously, you know, playing well, performing well is now a top priority for you, right? Because obviously it equates directly into better payouts, better sponsorship opportunities. And obviously sponsorship opportunities go outside of just doing well. I mean, obviously it's how you represent yourself and the companies and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
You have, since you've gone into the league, you have been top dog, right? I mean, it's hard to dispute that. I mean, you kind of burst onto the scene, you win the world championship, you're MVP. The next year you followed up and listen, there was no sophomore slump. And then you had this year. And I don't want to say it's like a bad season because I think 90% of the ACL pros in the league would be very happy with the season you had. You guys ended up as one half of the number one doubles team in the world. But you look at singles and like it seemed, at least seemingly on paper, that there were some struggles. Like, how do you, looking back now that the season's almost done, how do you reflect on all that?
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind was, you know, right before the World Championships, I get the email from Todd saying, you know, I'm in the Open Doubles of Champion, you know, tournament, but I'm also in singles. You know, I had to kind of think like, oh my God, that did happen in the 2024 season. Like that was forever. Like I did win 2 Opens, and obviously I'm very grateful and humbled to be doing that. You know, it felt like a while ago, and you know, I definitely didn't have the type of year that I had my first 2 years, but it wasn't anything that I did differently. You know, obviously me getting married was something that was, you know, huge, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse.
This is your chance.
I just think the competition. What's that?
This is your one chance. I mean, like,
I just think the competition has gotten extremely good.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not someone who's obviously going to shy down from that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I went 1 and 2 in the World Championships singles, and I threw a 9.82. And I'm not someone who ever checks my PPR and is someone who's going to, you know, brag about how I went 1 and 2 on the day, but I threw this. I'm never going to say that. But I really felt like I shot good in singles, especially in the World Championships. Yeah. And I just didn't get those breaks that I was probably getting my first 2 years. I obviously know the target that I set on my back.
Yeah.
And understand, you know, everybody's going to give me their best shot.
Yep.
And I shouldn't look at that as a negative thing. I should look at it as I put myself in that position. And that's a really good thing that unfortunately not everybody in the league gets to experience.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true.
So we called it originally, I think it was the Matt Guy syndrome.
100%.
You know, everyone wanted to beat Matt Guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he got their best game every single time. Yep. Okay. So obviously a few things changed from like last season to this season, right? So I'm going to just throw some random stuff out because like when I was looking at your performance from, you know, the previous 2 years to this year, there was clearly a drop off in stats, right? So, and I'm interested to get your take on why. So like in last season, you ended singles at a 10.12. This year ended at 9.47. In doubles, you were at 9.69 last year, and this year at 8.95. Obviously, doubles went well. You guys were great. I mean, number one doubles team, whatever. You changed bags a little bit this year, right? And then did you change any like style, play, game strategy wise at all? Did you get like more conservative this year?
You know, it's funny. Everybody like they say like, are you trying to block more? You know, this is the first year where I've actually thrown a different bag in doubles and singles for the most part.
Okay.
You know, mostly in doubles, we threw the Elite Pro Snipers, which I loved. Yeah. And in singles, I threw the Pro Snipers, which obviously I love as well. So again, not using that as an excuse, but I was somebody who would practice with both. You know, I'd show up to the tournaments and be ready to go. There was a lot of times in doubles where, you know, I am throwing it harder.
Okay.
As you can imagine, it's a slower bag than the Pro Sniper, and it would hang up. I definitely feel like my opponents were trying to block my side of the board more than usual. I don't know if that's because they are tempting me to throw a roll bag or step out. But I definitely think I will admit to this. I definitely think that I did not shoot the airmail this year as much as I did my first 2 years. And that is probably why you brought up the like being more conservative route. I will never say that I just tried to get the bags back to Tony, because that is not the case.
No.
Multiple times this year, we both stated that I'm going to play my singles game and Tony's going to play his singles game.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best route in order for us to both be successful.
Well, yeah, and it worked.
And absolutely.
It worked,
100%.
so, yeah.
Nothing to hang your head about here. But I think going into this next year, singles and doubles, I do need to find a way to be in the hole more. And if I'm not in the hole, I need to be deep, really deep into the hole.
Did you not shoot the airmail as much because you added a new shot? Like you added a roll bag that you felt more confident in?
Correct. I just felt like I feel very confident in my roll too.
Okay.
I mean, like it is a more conservative shot.
Yeah.
And depending on who I was playing or what bags I was throwing against, I just felt like it was the right shot to hit. If you go back to, I think the second or third national where we ended up beating Trey and Adam to win our bracket, I was up the middle that entire day, and any cuts or rolls that I decided to shoot, 80% were good shots.
Okay.
So I don't know, like, you know, where we get where things went a little bit off this season, but I will say that I did feel confident in that shot. But moving forward, I do think I need to get back to my airmail a little bit more than I did this past year.
You made the statement before where this is the first year that you've thrown different bags in singles and doubles. If you know that you're going to throw a bag in doubles and you know in the back of your mind, like this might be affecting it, why not just throw the Elite Pro Snipers in singles as well?
You know what? It's people around me who really, really care about me. They're telling me, Mark, you don't know how good you are with the Pro Sniper.
I agree. Listen, I completely agree. I'm not arguing with that at all. I'm just saying, like, strategy wise for you, or why not talk to Tony and be like, or do you feel like you're hindering his game if he's throwing a bag that's too fast?
Well, that's the thing. So when you go back to our only open win in doubles,
was that in Australia?
No, that was Canton or Ohio or something.
Oh, was it? Okay. Hamilton, Ohio. That's right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Devin and Jeremiah. We actually threw the multicolor Pro Snipers in that tournament. Tony loved that bag. I don't know if he would admit that his roll shot was better with that bag than the Elite Pro Sniper.
Yeah.
But his roll shot was nasty with those bags. And there was a tournament after that tournament where we won, that they were just super, super sticky that day, even for Tony.
Okay.
And we didn't throw them again. We moved on to the Elite Pro Sniper. And I moved on to a different bag as well. I stopped throwing them.
Okay.
But then come around to the second half of the season, I started hearing people say, man, where are those multicolors at? And I started thinking the same thing. And it was true. I needed to go back to that bag. I'm good with a dirty Pro Sniper.
Okay. Yeah.
But I also know that I'm good with the Elite Pro Sniper.
Well, I mean, again, it's hard to argue because you guys were tied for number one team in doubles. So, I mean, obviously what you guys were doing was working, but listen, going into this season, when you and Tony decided to pair up, was basically, you guys were the next Matt guy, Jamie Graham. It's like, well, who the fuck's going to win? And then you guys go out and win the first one. We're like, well, fuck. Are we still playing the season? Is it just who's going to make the other broadcast next to you guys? And then obviously it was a little up and down. I mean, it was solid enough to still finish tied for first. You know what I mean? So it was a great season. I just always interested in getting behind the scenes, like, what are your guys' thought process going into decisions? Because ultimately in cornhole, there's not a whole lot of equipment involved. You know what I mean? Like there's not so much you can change. You know what I mean? Like unless you guys are both going to start wearing gloves or something. I mean,
comfortability is such a huge part of the game. Like you gotta just feel 100% confident with whatever you're throwing at all times.
Oh yeah. So I know there were a few listener questions. I was going to bust those out real quick if I can pull this up. I actually took pictures of them because I know my internet never works at Dane's place.
Look at you.
I know.
Learning.
All right, so we kind of asked that. Not that one. Oh, so John Mendoza wrote, there's no question, but he met Mark Richards' parents during Worlds Week at the Sky Bar, and he said there's some great people right there. And then that's why Mark is such a class act, so I did like that one.
Shout out to the Cambria. They have the best whiskey sour I have ever had in my life.
Oh, okay.
See,
You're not
talking
scaring
my
us.
language.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
And I
Yeah.
just got turned on to those too.
Are you more of a beer guy, or are you more of like a mixed drink like that?
More of a beer guy, but
Are you okay?
I was sitting at the Cambria, and
No, I get it.
Adam Isner was down there with,
Yeah,
with Harsh.
yeah.
And they had like the best looking whiskey sour. I was like, I'm going to try one of those. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
was awesome.
That does not surprise me at all.
No,
yeah, I mean,
not at all.
with those
I think
two.
we need to class it up right now.
So it looks like you had a solid weekend at the Central Indiana Throwdown. Michael Pierce, just wanted to thank you for coming out and supporting them. See, he would love to hear your thoughts on the tournament itself and any improvements you think they can make.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. It was K9 was there. Wally,
Hell yeah.
he was doing that tournament.
Oh,
It was
nice.
a really fun tournament. So that was actually the highlight that I've had in the last few months was winning with Mobilia. I felt really good to just win a solid cash tournament, but it was good. I mean, other than it raining for 20-30 minutes, it was under a canopy tent while he was broadcasting. Good competition. Danny Seals, some other good throwers, Sebastian, Tony Mayball. It was a really good tournament. Payouts were solid. Tournament ran well. I was home at 5:00 that evening. So yeah, no complaints.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Dude, and if for OG cornhole fans, like if you're a truly OG guy, Brandon's name should be you should be well known. I mean, he's been on ESPN broadcast before. He's a fucking killer. He just never really decided to go the pro route. But he's one. If he went to the pro qualifier, he's probably going to qualify without question. I mean, he's that talented.
Yeah, exactly. One of his buddies actually wore a shirt to the Ohio Open, I think. And he's going to hate me for saying this, but he's actually sending me one too. It says, "Hi, my name is Brandon Mobilia. I've had 2 Bud Lights. ... And on the back it says, "I'm effed up." So
like that.
I'm getting one sent my way too.
Hell yeah. No, I was pumped when I saw you guys. That's who you were partnered up with. Because, again, like his name pops up once or twice a year at these big tournaments that he wins. You know what I mean? And he's just like one of those guys that it reminds you how many talented players there are that are still lurking. That if they decided to come up and ruin somebody's day, they probably still could.
Easily.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Stephen Doan, I just wanted to. He was the one that was asking about the mental aspect, and he was asking if any book recommendations. So the book he was saying was "Think Like a Warrior" that you recommended.
Correct.
So I wanted to go over that. You got any
Beautiful.
got any fun stuff over there? I know you do.
You know, Mark, are you were you like a fan of movies growing up?
Yes, I was hoping you were going to ask me this.
Oh yes.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know which way he was thinking I was going, but we're gonna do a little tier talk.
All right.
All right, so we'll basically rank them from like honorable mention, then 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And I want to know your favorite childhood movies.
Childhood?
Yep.
Oh, we can't do like
What do you
all
want?
together.
What you want to do all together?
We can do that afterwards.
Okay. All right. Childhood movies.
We need childhood to start.
Okay.
What's like the age like?
Let's say a movie that you saw up until like your teens.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, so like you got from like 12 all the way down to, I mean, for you would it have been like,
All right. So. All right. Well, I'll start.
A Bug's
you
Life?
You want me to start? All right.
I've never even seen that.
Oh god. Oh good. Well, not yet. You don't have kids. It's all gonna come, man. That Disney stuff's gonna come roaring back. All right. So I got to give an honorable mention to, just because I was such a big fan of them growing up, Ghostbusters.
yes,
Ghostbusters for
good
sure.
pick.
Number 3, the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie,
Nice,
like without a doubt. Number 2, Three Ninjas.
great movie.
Right? Are you seeing a theme here?
Oh yeah, yes I am.
Never seen that one.
You never. It's like a cult classic. I don't know if Rocky Love and Emily, for anyone that's seen it out there, and Tum Tum.
Tum Tum.
What's up? All right, my number 1 childhood movie. There's a few that I feel like I could go with. I gotta say, listen, it's a sports movie. I gotta go Rudy. Like that was like my go-to, like feel good,
Nice.
movie. Like
Yeah,
that was just my favorite.
You did
man.
watch it all the time.
I did.
like,
I have to
definitely
go with
think
it, yeah.
that's a good pick.
And I knew.
I don't know
yeah.
where my cat is right now, but that's our cat.
I figure I was
Yep.
playing to the audience. too,
Exactly.
so
Hand-ring to the guest, Sean.
that was pretty good off the dome. I'm normally not that good off the top of my head, so that's pretty good.
All right, Mark, who you got?
I'll go last. You go ahead.
All right, so let's see.
I already know your number one. I bet I can name it. I'm going to write it down now. See if I can get it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go honorable mention D2, the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
D2 is
D2 was
correct.
just. I thought I liked it more than the first
It's
one.
still the only reason I know
Wow.
the difference between Greenland and Iceland. It's it.
Because Iceland's covered in green and Greenland's covered in ice.
Yeah, Iceland's
you go.
Iceland's very nice
There you go.
for sure.
Wow.
Yep. Anyways,
Just the education. All right. Man, I'm trying to. All right. So number 3, I'm going to go with Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
I almost that was up there. Correct. That's the second
Right,
one.
That was
Again.
one of the first movies that every time I would watch it, I'd belly laugh as a
Oh,
kid. Like
yeah.
it was so stupidly funny. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Then number 2. I mean, I'm gonna go with The Sandlot.
Okay. I mean, yeah. It was,
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of sports movies.
your number one. I feel like you've mentioned on the show periodically through the last 5 years.
If
all
you're
the time.
thinking it's Fern Gully,
I was. That's what I wrote down.
it's a great movie.
Okay.
But I would think like for repeat movies that I would watch as a kid growing up,
Fair enough.
I don't think I watched that one nearly as much.
Fair.
But I think my number one overall. I mean, there's a theme here with sports movies, but it's Little Giants.
Oh, that's true.
Like
yeah, that's a
I
good one.
watched that with my cousin Robbie, like
Yeah, that
ad
was a good one.
nauseum as a kid growing up. Like,
All right.
always loved that one too.
I'll give you that one. All right. All right, Mark.
I've not seen that one either.
Oh man,
That one's actually it's sneaky funny. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's just
as a former like gym teacher, you would greatly appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like you would like it's just got that good like
it's,
little kid
It's funny.
feel.
It's got
Yeah,
this
fun.
Rick Moranis.
Oh, yeah.
like
Classic.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Cool. Okay. So honorable mention, I would have to go Little Rascals.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. Like the the
Yep.
newer version, right? Like
I'm gonna assume so.
okay,
Yeah, not the
like
black
Whoopi,
and white.
like Whoopi Goldberg's in it at the very end. Like Whoopi, yeah, okay,
Whoopi.
oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
thinking the same ones.
Number 3, Like Mike.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
man.
yeah,
Another
You
classic.
guys have seen that, right?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that was our neighbor's favorite movie. Shout out
Still
B
is.
Robs.
Still is.
Like Mike 2, not very good.
No, cool.
First one, money.
So the second one still have Bow Wow.
That's it.
It is not.
Yeah, I was
See,
gonna say,
that's why it didn't work.
That's probably
Yeah.
why it sucks.
Yep.
2, I don't know if you guys are going to be okay with this one, but I did see it as a child. It's my all-time favorite, but I can't do it number 1 for childhood. Caddyshack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, listen,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. I love that movie.
listen. We grew up watching like
The only
History of the
reason I
World.
didn't throw every Adam Sandler movie in there is because I'm still watching them to this day.
Yeah,
So
correct,
like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then number 1, Benchwarmers.
oh yeah, another.
Nice.
Hey, speaking of Adam Sandler,
Very
there
true.
you go. That's
Very true.
Happy Madison
Yep.
Productions.
I love Benchwarmers. I was more of a beer league guy.
Beer League was a classic. I mean,
Have you ever seen that
Entirely-
movie?
entirely different.
Again, that's
movies,
another
though.
cult classic, though.
Oh, Beer League is a yeah. Artie, or was it Artie Lang?
Artie Lang, yeah,
Just
filth ball
yeah,
movie. Love it.
It's absolutely hilarious.
So you can't say 60 degree. All right, because we already talked about this. What's like your go-to club in your bag right now? If I had to tell you had to hit a shot,
So I just got new clubs for Christmas.
Nice.
what'd you
And
get?
like last year,
What'd you get?
I can't even say it. I mean, a beginner guy, they're no Titleist Callaway.
Okay.
They're top lights.
Okay,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clubs are
Okay,
clubs,
good.
man.
I like them. But last year, somehow my 9-iron broke.
Okay.
So for Christmas, my dad got me a new 9-iron. I think it's like, I forget what it's called, like a Nitro or something.
Okay.
But it's a little bit different looking than my other clubs.
Yeah.
And all day today, I was hitting my like 9-iron that comes with the bag pretty well. But then on the last hole, I realized I wasn't hitting the one my dad got me. And I hit a beautiful shot with, and I was like, yeah, I just switched to the one you got me, and it was a cool moment. But that's definitely my favorite club, other than my 60.
What's yours? What's your go-to club right now with this set?
With this set, dude, I gotta go pitching wedge.
Yeah, you have been money.
Yeah, I mean,
You've
I'm
done a nice
like-
job changing the trajectory.
Yeah,
of
and
your
I can
shots
go
stuff, too.
anywhere from 100 to 140 with it. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty nuts.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean,
a good problem to
I do
have.
like it. Yeah.
It's weird for me because like my old set, because I also got new sets at club like 3 months ago. It was right before we went to Arizona, whenever that was. So my old set 7-iron was my bread and butter. Like if I was struggling all day, give me a 7-iron. I know I can knock it, 160, 170 yards straight. You know, I'm good. But this new set, all the lofts are different, and I don't know if that's what it is. But my 8-iron with this new set is just like I just want to use it all the time. Like I'm just like, and normally my old set, my 8-iron was going 140. Now all of a sudden, like I found myself, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's new clubs or if I'm just making better contact with the ball. I'm not picking it, and I'm actually compressing it. But now I'm hitting everything like 15, 20 yards further. So it's like taking me a big time to adjust. So now I'm using an 8-iron from anywhere from like 150 to 165 yards out. I mean, so, and that's what, like, my driving distance for most courses, that's the distance I tend to find myself in most often.
Yeah.
So feeling comfortable with that club's actually kind of nice.
Just be hitting all 8-irons, man.
Listen, I might just have to do that.
Bomb down the fairway.
Yeah, seriously.
Gotcha.
Let it rip.
All right, one more question.
Do it.
What animal would you most fear to have attack you, land or sea?
Land or sea.
Land or sea.
I mean, like, I feel like drowning is pretty terrible, but while you're getting ripped apart while you're drowning is pretty awful. So if I'm going sea, dude, orcas scare the shit out of me, man. They're just so
Okay,
fucking
orcas
big.
are a good one. Yeah, because everyone would just like say great white, but
And
nobody's
I'm-
lived to tell the tale of an orca
on
attack.
land though. Like, I'm sorry, like after watching The Revenant, like
Yeah.
dude, like grizzly bear would just.
Very
Yeah.
true. But like, you don't think with orca you could like free willy that guy, like have him like jump over top of you?
I mean, only if Michael Jackson's
Michael
wearing. I got a
Jackson,
white
yeah.
flowing shirt.
in the back.
Yeah, that's it.
The boy can be. Right?
That's a movie I should have mentioned too.
I mean, that's-
an
yeah.
honorable mention to Free Willy for sure.
We'll both throw that one
Yeah,
onto our list
absolutely,
because we
absolutely.
love that one.
So okay, that's my answer.
Good answer, Mark. How about you?
I'd have to go with either snake, even though I've never seen a snake that like is actually like, aggressive, or like alligator.
Oh yeah.
Terrified of both of those big time.
So you're not a big Florida guy.
You know what? Once every 5 years is cool with me, but other than that,
Once
yeah,
every 5
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Like that. He's heading north for vacations.
Yeah, correct. Where's been your favorite like vacation spot you've hit so far in your life?
I mean, I have to say Australia.
Oh, is it worth the trip, man? Is like I've been dying to go.
You want me to be honest with you?
Yeah, please.
20, 25 hours altogether, one way flight. You better be staying there for at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Probably 3 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
It is very nice, but plane rides, oh my God. I'm very grateful for that opportunity, but it was crazy.
Would you ever go back there again?
Depends on what it was for.
Okay, I get you. All right, so all everything paid for, you're going, but like on your own dime. Like,
Yeah.
why not? I get it. I got you.
I get it
I got you.
100%.
Where's been your favorite place to go?
Ooh, that's tough, man. Dude, I mean, I really like Key Largo a lot.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I bet.
like it's just it's nuts. But I honestly would have to say Cape Cod, as corny as it is just my happy place.
No, I get
like,
that.
I just go somewhere that I know.
Cape Cod
Like,
would be my
just the
easy
fact that we
answer.
grew up there, and I feel like when I drive around, like I don't need a map.
Yeah.
It blows me away. I'm just
sure.
I'm just like back to my other home.
If you haven't been to, I can't say this now. If you haven't been to Portugal, go to Portugal. It's fucking beautiful, man. This has been
Yeah.
like my favorite country I've been to.
I mean, Ireland would be up there as well. For
Yeah.
me, just because.
So
beer.
Ireland's hard for me to judge though, because when I went in that time of life, like I was there with 2 of my best friends.
Yeah.
And it was literally just 3.5 weeks of partying.
I mean, I went with the family, and then I went with my wife.
Yes.
Had a blast both times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, yeah, it shows up and shows out.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Nico's mother-in-law just went there.
Did he really?
Yep.
I mean, we have family friends that live there. Like my college roommate was from Ireland. I mean, it's like we have opportunities to go back over there. trying like with 2 kids, like the thought of putting my son on an airplane for 6 hours right now is like a form of torture that like if they could bottle that, they could get any information.
I mean,
out
they
of any
make
terrorist
sedatives
they
for
ever want.
that.
I mean, I know, man. Like we might need it.
Just be like,
I mean, I
take
thought
this
coming back from Disney
entire
World was
bottle
bad,
of
and that
Benadryl,
was
yeah.
like just 2 hours, so that was just a nightmare situation. But maybe someday you'll get to experience all that too. That'll be great.
That was the corniest little liner.
So let me ask you, before we let go, I'm interested. So you're all in on this cornhole professional thing, right? You're no longer teaching. You're a cornhole professional. Correct. Do you like the direction the ACL is going with the apparent like shrinking of the pro field?
To put it short, yes.
Okay.
I think this is an important question to throw back at you, just because I was thinking about it before the show.
Mm-hmm.
With the intensity on like hiring officials and getting officials at matches, and the pros wanting officials pretty much on the boards every single match. I'm not 100% sure, but there has been multiple rumors about the foot foul going away, like the foot, that whole thing.
Yeah.
How much does the official actually come into play now that the pros are going to be working on not going over the line? Like, wasn't that the biggest thing about officiating was like watching that, right?
Yeah, I mean, because there was only like one time, like I could hear, I think it was at Worlds there was like a situation with Trevor Brooks where he touched a bag or something, and then they ended up giving up a lot of points, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. But besides that, like, and the official wasn't even there; they had to call him over. I kind of agree. Like, apparently we're going to be finding out a lot of information on September 2nd. I posted the reel last week after our interview with Brian, where I kind of went on a rant saying, you drop some information, then you just like then you leave us in the lurch for like 3 weeks. Like, well, don't just do that. Just tell us. So apparently they responded. September 2nd is when they're like releasing a bunch of this information. So I'm assuming it's going to be more details about the pro field, how they're changing up the nationals. The rumor is that they're moving to 6 rather than 4, where you guys might only have to go to so many tournaments. So we'll get all those details apparently September 2nd. So I'm going to hold them to that. So,
fingers crossed.
And if I get any information this weekend at Spencer's, just make sure you join Patreon. And I'll drop that info there.
Nuggets.
Going back to your question though,
yes,
like
please.
If you watch the awards, like Stacey Moore did say live, like the ACL is investing a lot of money into a lot of very important things. I 100% believe that, and I want everyone else to believe that as well. I don't know. My biggest thing right now is like, I didn't have the greatest years this past year, but it is my full-time job now. I am going to prioritize, my sponsors and getting them out there as best as possible. And hopefully that will grow the sport.
Yeah. And we still want to collaborate with you on something. So we're going to work on this. All right. Cause I think that there's joint interests here that we can help each other with, but no, like it was weird. Cause the week before this, I ended the episode basically saying like, listen, like the ACL is the one organization that's going somewhere. So if we want this sport to get as big as it can, it only makes sense to me as a community that we kind of support like the direction that they're going. Do I get frustrated at times with the way they're doing it? Of course. But I feel like it's important for independent people like us to like hold them accountable. But like I still believe in the direction they're going. I just want the information faster. That's all it is.
Do we have more time? Can I ask you guys another?
Please.
Of course.
As much as you want.
So I have this conversation all the time with whether it's my family or just friends with watching a live broadcast, right?
Yeah.
On the TV. Do you guys think for a newer viewer or somebody who's only watched it 2 or 3 times, do you think the games that you're watching are better for the sport to grow in a sense of fun and flamboyant energy and all that jazz, or do you think it should be played serious, no smiles, just a very competitive game? What do you guys think?
Okay, so I think it depends on the level of play that's going on the boards. If the level of play is shitty, then we need some pizzazz. You know what I mean? You need something to keep my interest. But if the level is good and the competition is good on both sides and it's a tight match, then I think the serious atmosphere can work. So I know it's like kind of a cop out, but
to add to that, hopefully the shrinking of the pro field could potentially maneuver in that way where we're not seeing
I agree.
as much crappy play. I don't, you know what I mean?
No, I agree. Listen, it's no secret. We've said it 1,000 times on the show as the season went on that the product that the teams were putting out on the broadcast, they just weren't good matches. I mean, you had a bunch of blowouts early in the match, and you know it is what it is. I mean, it's you know, water under the bridge at this point. But listen, I know. Listen, Nate Voyer, we've talked about it a bunch of times. You can go that route. In my opinion, as just a spectator watching on TV on a broadcast, to me, that moment was the only memorable thing about the entire event that time. There were other good matches, you know, along the year, but like as a whole broadcast, like it's tough to argue. But again, if the level of play is up there as a cornhole honk, like, you know, I want to see like good competition. I don't want to have to rely on the pizzazz, because then I think if we do too much of that, then we stick on ESPN H the Ocho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, we're not legitimizing what we're trying to grow.
But on the flip side, we're also, like you said, cornhole honks.
Correct.
So we're already watching to begin with.
That's true.
Is this really a fair question to be asking us when it should be the general public? Yeah, it might be an easier product to sell if pros were a little more out there, a little more rambunctious while they're playing. Flamboyant, dare I say.
It's hard to compare because grand scheme of things, professional cornhole is still in the infant stages, right?
Yeah.
You know, like when we're trying to compare ourselves to like these other major sports and like their broadcast numbers, they've been around for 100 years. You know what I mean? So obviously their grassroots levels, people are playing baseball when they're 4 and 5 years old. So they have an opportunity to become fans of baseball and then follow it. Same with football and all the way up. Cornhole, as it gets more popular in the youth level, it starts going into high school and building up to college. Like I do see the grand plan. I have to remind myself sometimes that Rome wasn't built in a day. And if sometimes when we're looking back on this, we're going to be like, oh man, remember all those hard times? Like, and all those wild changes they're making? Like, oh, I guess it was for the better. And I think if we just
might have
stay
to
patient.
eat it for a couple
I mean,
years,
listen,
you know,
if we're still doing the podcast 20 years from now, something didn't go right. But I mean, so we'll see. But I don't know. I hope I answered your question, by the way. I don't know.
You did.
I kind of tailed off.
I mean, I just want to play devil's advocate for a second, you know.
For sure. No, I get it. All right, so we're gonna let the folks go at home. We'll have you hang on with us just for a minute, but I want to thank you very much for hopping on, answering tough questions, man. Like, no one. Listen, I'm sure, you know, True Serum Injected. It wasn't the single season you were hoping for going into the season, but I thought you answered everything with class, and you're just a stand-up dude, and I think you're a great representative of what like the ACL Pro should be. So I'm excited to hear that there's another guy taking the leap and doing this full time.
Hey, it's like John Daly said, I'm still alive.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
Love
All right, folks, hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to be off to Spencer's. Next week, we'll have a whole bunch of random interviews dropping. So if you're looking for bonus content, don't forget to check out patreon.com/Big Asp Cornhole. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole.
Later.